Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good of marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, just turn on the Marketing Pulpit Show because we're on a mission. The show is broadcast live from the illustrious Radio 1 studio. Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, we're saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I save a soul along the way, don't hold it against me. Hey, my dad was a minister, so some of that may have rubbed off on me. Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show. We come to you every Friday with a show, and we're talking about business development. We're talking about saving jobs, creating an economic foundation in our community. And we have an exciting show for you today. We're going to talk about, matter of fact, this downturn that we're experiencing right now. So we're going to talk about downturn survival strategies. We're under this. These tariffs are kicking in, government layoffs. So a lot of people are anxious right now. They're experiencing anxiety. And we're going to talk about that, some of the things that you can do to get through these uncertain times. It's the first Friday of April. And if you haven't already, come on out to our first Friday networking event if you're in the Washington, D.C. area. And we're going to see if we can help us collectively get through these times that we're experiencing. So come on out to 9701 Apollo Drive in Largo, Maryland. And you can also get that information by going to marketingpulpit.com. You'll see a banner on the right side talking about the event. Matter of fact, we're going to have Larry Webb from the Small Business Administration, the SBA. We're bringing in some resources here to make sure that we get the information we need to navigate these choppy waters that we're in right now. So go to, come on out. I'll be there. Miss Bernadette Clay of BLE Executive Suites, who's one of our sponsors, will be there. And we're going to provide lunch from Panera Bread. So come on out. We're going to have ourselves a great time at the BLE Marketing Pulpit First Friday coming up today at 11:30 a.m. in the Washington, D.C. area. And if you miss it, you can get it online afterwards to people who are not in the D.C. area. We're going to share that information with you to make sure that we have the resources we need to navigate these times we're in. This is the first to the month of April. April is a meaning. It has a meaning, a Greek word meaning to open, resurgence, transformation. So we're going to start this second quarter off with a new vigilance, determination to succeed in this year of 2025. We have some observances this month. This is a National Fair Housing Month. This is a National Month of Hope. This is National Parkinson Awareness Month. It's a Sexual Assault Awareness Month, Stress Awareness Month, and National Volunteer Month. So let's observe these milestones, and we do this to bring awareness and to help people navigate. Some people are suffering from some of these maladies. So we'd like to bring awareness and marshal resources to make sure everybody has a fighting chance. We're going to talk about, as we stated, we're going to talk about some items in the news. And also, later in the show, we're going to talk about navigating these treacherous times. Downturn. And I'm Robert Gatewood. I am a business developer by trade. I have a company called Gatewood Marketing and Web. I'm also an adjunct professor at Prince George's Community College. Matter of fact, last night I was teaching a course on social media marketing. And the week before that, I was teaching content marketing on this digital marketing program that I myself and Dr. Reginald King authored over at the Prince George's Community College. We felt there was a need because we're in these times where you need some type of digital foundation to work in most jobs now. So we're glad to offer that certificate through Prince George's Community College. I've also written a couple of books, one called Smarter Than the Boss and another called Played in Full. So this is my calling. What I'm doing right now is my calling. This is my raison d'etre, my reason for being. And I'm just glad to be here to share this space with you on this first Friday in the month of April. Let's talk about a couple of items in the news. I'm going to start off the news by talking about something that everybody's been talking about lately. And that's this video that's floating around the internet. Marvin Sapp. Marvin Sapp is, of course, a renowned singer, gospel singer. He's gotten so tons and tons of records. He's well known, but somehow he's gotten in hot water this past week over a video that surfaced where he was shown asking the people in attendance at this conference to ditch over $20 if you were in the church, in the building, and another $20 to the people who were online. He said, there's 1,000 people online, there's 1,000 people in the church. Each one of you give $20, that's going to raise $40,000. Well, that in itself is not terrible, but the way he did it has raised a lot of ire. And there's a lot of memes out here. Now, some of the things that stood out, besides telling the people to give up $20, he also said, close the doors. He asked the ushers to close the doors. And that's where things got a little dicey. And that's a problem with a lot of area. That's an area where a lot of people had problems. They felt that they were being held hostage. Some said he said lock the doors, but he actually said close the doors. And then he turned to the dignitaries behind him and said, look, you guys need to pay $100. You can't just get off the hook with $20. And he told the parishioners, those in attendance, I want you to come in front of the dish so I can see you put the $20 in the plate. He said, we're going to leave here together. He said this after he said close the doors. And some people really had a problem with that. He said, you're only going to a restaurant anyway. So this is, of course, called the tremendous backlash online. And I just want to add my take to it. I don't really know Marvin Sapp personally. I have listened to his music, never would have made it one of his top selling hits. But I do have a bit of advice to the brother. One, when you are in a position of authority and you explicitly tell people you don't have permission to leave, that's going to cause some problems because people are already anxious. Some people in an environment they're not familiar with. So you look to the authority figure for guidance. And so if he is the authority figure at that venue and he's telling people, close the doors, we're going to leave here together, that's really implying that I do not want you to leave this venue until I say so. And also it created a pressurized environment that shamed people who did not give and people who did not follow the behest of this powerful leader. That's problematic. And my third issue is that many people go to these type of events. They're seeking salvation. They're seeking hope. Many are down on their luck. And they're just looking for something that they can hang on to say, everything is going to be all right. And as pithy as $20 may seem to some of us, I remember a time in my life where $20 meant a lot. When you only have a $30, $40, $50, $100 in the bank, $20 can seem like a lot. So even though many people who are rolling in those, it's only $20, didn't the Lord say, bless the cheerful giver? And if you're being coerced or strong-armed, or some people call it the shakedown, is that in the spirit that was intended? I say no. So I'm just going to say this, give my advice to Brother Sapp. Take the L, take the loss. Just admit it. This was not the way to do it. Say you were sorry, apologize, and move on. Because the longer you double down on this, the longer it's going to drag out. And we don't need this. We have more important things to deal with right now, like some of these tariffs and other issues that are confronting us as a country right now. That's my take on that story. Let's see what else we're talking about in the news today. Tariffs. Matter of fact, just found out this morning that China has just levied a will impose a 34% tariff on all U.S. imports starting on April 10th. That's next week. And that sent the stocks tumbling once again. They're already, I'm sitting here crying, watching my stock portfolio just really dry up in front of my eyes. And to the people who have their 401ks and their retirement accounts locked into the stock market, this is not a pretty picture. So China is actually retaliating and responding to some sweeping tariff that Trump imposed a couple of days ago, which included a 34% tax on all Chinese goods. And he also put a 20% tax on all the goods out of the European Union. And he had a little chart out there on the lawn of the White House. It's all like he's giving a class. But let me just quickly give you a quick overview on how tariffs work. So in a nutshell, a company, when you have a tariff, a company pays a tariff to bring their product into the United States. So let's just say if it costs you $20,000 to produce a car, you're going to sell that car in the United States, then if there's a 25% tariff, that 25% is going to equal adding $5,000 to the cost of that car. Now, if you're buying that car, if you're a dealership, you're buying that car, now you have a cost of goods of $25,000 versus $20,000. And so the car dealership or the seller has the option of selling it, absorbing the $5,000. Good luck on that. Or they're going to pass it on to the consumer. And in many cases, that's exactly what happens. So the motivation behind the tariffs, of course, is to get companies to build their products in the United States so that they don't have to incur the tariff. In a simple world, that makes sense. But nothing is as simple as it seems. First of all, it does not take into consideration the concept of called competitive advantage. So you tell a company to come to the United States to produce their goods, they may have had a competitive advantage from where they were shipping the goods initially. Let's say it was in Asia or somewhere, or in Pakistan or India. And that allowed them to make that product for $20,000. They may not have that same ability in the United States due to things like labor costs, regulations, environmental factors, and so forth. So when they move that plant to the United States, by the time they take into consideration the increased cost of labor and other factors, the cost of that car might be back up to $25,000 anyway. And that's going to be passed on to the consumer, whether you have a tariff or not. And that's what causes inflation. So where does that money go? Well, generally, when you do a tariff, the money goes to the government. So the company that buys the products collects the money, then it's taxed, and it goes back to the United States government. And that's how tariffs work in a nutshell. And so it's simplistic. That's an understatement to think that you can just go out and raise all this money just by imposing tariffs nilly-willy on all these countries over the world, because they have the power, and many will reciprocate. And this is going to start a trade war, which never works to anybody's favor. So I say buckle down. And that's going to bring us to our topic for today, which is, what do you do in a downturn? Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back in a minute. We're going to finish our topic on tariffs, downturn, and a few other items before we get out of here. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. I'm here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. Not saving souls. I'm here to save businesses. save jobs, save our community. And we need it right now more than ever. That's why I'm asking you to come out to the First Friday networking event in the Washington, D.C. area at Largo, Maryland today. We're going to be tackling some of these topics. We're going to give ourselves a big old collective boost and help us understand that we can beat this. We've been down this road too many times as a people, as a community, and we're not going to start giving up now either. I want to say good morning to some people. Good morning, attorney Bradley Thomas. He says, I'm out in class today. Do I get a gold star? Brother, you get 5 stars. Thank you for tuning in today. Appreciate your support. I see Brother Gerald Brown, one of the greatest plumbers in town. Thank you, Brother Brown. He's a famous and loyal supporter of the Marketing Pulpit Show. I see Miss Kirksey. Has a Kirksey catering business, one of the greatest cooks in town. So we have some very nice people, very important people, very talented people tuning in today. We appreciate your support and looking forward to seeing you. Hopefully we'll see some of you over the First Friday networking event, which is going to be taking place at 11:30 today. I will be there. Come on out. Let's fellowship. I understand we have a packed house anticipated. This is what we need. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about weathering this economic downturn. Now, this can present a significant challenge if you're a small business. So we're going to talk about some things that you can do in the short term and long term to help you weather this storm. Let's talk about financial management to start things off. Start prioritizing cash flow. Now, cash flow is a little different than profit. Cash flow is money that you can put your hand on. Okay? That means start looking at liquid assets versus fixed assets. Money, cash, savings, things that you can liquidate on a short notice. And try to maintain a reserve to cover any unexpected expenses. So you want to take an audit of your expenses to see what things you can reduce, which things you can cut back on, which things you can do more efficiently, and try to negotiate better terms with any of your vendors and suppliers. Look at your revenue streams. If you have any new products, sometimes a new product doesn't mean going out and making a new product. It might mean renaming or tinkering with some of the products and services that you already offer. I do this all the time. I might take a product or a service that I'm already selling and give it a new twist, maybe to reach a different audience. Also look at putting some of these items online, and that'll also help reduce your costs and help you extend your reach and reach a different audience as well. Also look at diversifying your revenue streams. Look at products that might align better with the times that we're in. Let's contextualize. I mean, you look at the news every day, and don't just look at the news just for entertainment. Look at news for opportunities that we can diversify our streams of income and maybe go after markets that we weren't going after before. And look at also, once again, look at online sales opportunities that you might be able to bring in a broader audience and just expand your ability to bring in revenue. Also, let's take this time to strengthen our customer relationships. Use email marketing, social media, and other tools to reach out and let people know that you're still here. You want to nurture those relationships. You want to say hello. You want to acknowledge them, let them know that you're still around and so forth. And you want to also try to get feedback at this time to make sure that you're doing the right thing, to make sure that you're serving their needs. It's okay to do a survey, pick up the phone call and say, hey, how things are going, just checking in on you. Don't make it into a sales call, make it into a checking on you call. You also look at your business strategy. Okay? Maybe do a SWOT analysis at this time. A strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Make sure you're covering your flanks, and make sure you're not assuming things are going to be the same just because they were. Because when you set that business plan and marketing strategy back in January, end of December, things have changed since then. So you want to go back and dust that off again to make sure that the landscape you have adjusted based on the landscape. And also do market research to see where things are. Follow the trends. Make sure you're right in the mix and not making business decisions on outdated data. Also, look at your own online presence. Social media is still a great tool. There's 5 billion people right now in social media. That's a big market. You don't want to ignore it. Make sure that you have your social media platforms in the areas where your audience frequent. So if your target is baby boomers, you want to make sure you have a Facebook account. If your target is millennials, make sure you have an Instagram account. If your target is Gen Z, you want to make sure you're having a TikTok. So you want to make sure you have an online presence or social media presence that aligns with your audience. Make sure your website is optimized. That the SEO is SEO friendly. To make sure it's mobile friendly, because right now about 70% of the people are actually going online on their mobile devices. And also make sure you're doing content marketing. Content marketing is when you're putting out information to show your authority, your expertise, that you know what you're talking about. You might do webinars, seminars, a blog, a podcast, something to let people know that you have the right stuff. And last but not least, and this is going to tie into the event today, get out here, network, hang around some positive people so that you can stay positive and keep your attitude up. You want to make sure you don't slump into a bad position, the sky's falling and it's all over. No, get out, jump out today or whenever. It doesn't have to be the first Friday today. It could be a meetup. It could be a Chamber of Commerce. It could be an online webinar. But you got to get out here and start networking and collaborating. And together, it's going to take us together to weather this storm. Build partnerships. I'm not talking necessarily legal partnerships, but partnerships on projects, joint ventures. Start working with people. You can go fast if you go by yourself, but if you want to do it right and grow, you got to go with others. So that's my networking advice to you today. And if it just so happened on this day, I mean, sometimes the stars just line up. We have an event over in Largo today. I taught a class on networking about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And the students, I was amazed as I was teaching the course, they kept asking, Mr. Gatewood, is there any events in this area that we can go to? I said, well, there is an event coming up on the first Friday in April, and several of them contacted me after the class, and hopefully I'll see them there today and and introduce them to this world. Let me tell you, folks, I've done very well. I would say networking is one of my most lucrative forms of generating revenue and building potential clients. It allows you to use your God-given innate skills without going out spending a lot of money on other things. Now, of course, you got to join the right groups and you have to spend a couple of coins, but use the gifts that you have and go out here and collaborate and build these partnerships with other people. And so that's going to be the day. So don't forget to come on out to the First Friday networking event at BLE Executive Suites at 9701 Apollo Drive in Largo, Maryland. If you're outside the DC area, just keep tuning in. We'll put some information on the website. Go to marketingpulpit.com and follow this show. We're going to continue to bring you good information, particularly now in these perilous times. So go ahead and bookmark this show. We'll be back next week. And also go to YouTube. We're on YouTube. And just listen to some of those past shows. We've talked about boycotts. We've talked about DEI. We've talked about all of the issues of the day and how it may impact you and your company. So you want to use this resource. There's no cost to it. I'm not doing this to get clients. As a matter of fact, I'm not looking for clients. I'm doing this as a way to help my community and the people that need it. I mean, I've done okay. I'm okay. But right now it's time. It's not about me. It's about helping people. It's about collaborating to help us overcome some of these challenges that we're facing as a community. So go to marketingpulpit.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. You can also find me on Facebook. You can also find me on Instagram. And so let's go ahead and let's start connecting and changing information so that we can actually go out here and be successful, not only survive, but we can also thrive. That's going to wrap it up for today. I'm Robert Gatewood. My company is Gatewood Marketing and Web. And I'm just going to say, yes, these are times we're seeing some times now we haven't seen in a while, but we've been here as a community. Some of us have seen this more than others. I mean, I'm a little long in the tooth, so I've seen it probably more than some of you others. But we will get through this, but we have to do it together. You're not going to get through this by yourself. I mean, you might, but it's going to be a lot harder. That's going to wrap it up for today. I'll see you next week at the same time here on the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. And as always, how I like to end the show. If you want to be successful, you have to do these 3 things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get out here and get to work.